Thank you for joining me in Bible study this week as we continue our Lenten online Bible study series. This week we are studying the Gospel text for the fourth Sunday in Lent, John chapter 9, verses 1 through 41. Before we go any further, please pause the video for time to pray. This prayer, the first stanza of Clara Scott's hymn, "Open My Eyes That I May See," connects well to the passage we will study, but feel free to pray however the Spirit leads you. John 9, 1 to 41 is the story of Jesus healing a man born blind. It begins with the healing story, but then there is controversy over how the man was healed. There are several confrontations between the Pharisees and the man, as well as his parents. The story concludes with a sharp contrast between the man's reaction to Jesus and the Pharisees' reaction to him. This is another long passage, but it is also an artfully told story, so it is worth studying from start to finish. Because of its length, I'm not going to read it aloud this week, but I do invite you to pause this video and read it for yourself, out loud. Use whatever version you want, but I will be referring to the NRSV in these videos. Also, for this week, the study is broken up into a series of videos, part 1, part 2, and so on. Just be sure to watch the videos in order. To help with that, I've created a playlist on this channel called March 22nd Bible Study. If you use the playlist, it should automatically play the videos in the correct order. This story from John has important similarities with other gospel stories. I invite you to pause and look at each of them for yourself. The first of these is Mark 8:22 to 26. In that story, we also have the healing of a blind man. Jesus uses spit, but not mud, to heal the man's eyes, and there is a progressive healing, a healing that takes place in stages, and not all at once, in both John 9 and in Mark 8:22 to 26. Another similar story is Luke 17:11 to 19, the healing or cleansing of the 10 lepers. The key similarity between these two passages is that in both cases, Jesus sends those who are healed away to complete the healing. In Luke 11, Jesus sends the lepers to the priests. In John 9, he sends the blind man to the pool of Siloam. Finally, in John 5, we have another similar story, especially in verses 1 to 18 of chapter 5. There, Jesus also heals on the Sabbath, which becomes a point of controversy. But if you read on, you find Jesus talking about his authority to conduct this healing, and that becomes part of the background for John 9. Also, near the end of chapter 5, Jesus talks about Moses, and the relationship between him and Moses is a major theme of chapter 9 as well. I do want to remind you to have a journal or notebook and pen so that you can keep track of your thoughts and reflections. There's no test here, so you can use the journal in ways that help you engage with the passage. Also, be sure to pause the videos so that you can take time to go through this study at your own pace. Here's how we are going to approach the text in this study. After this introductory video, I'm going to summarize the passage by dividing it into 3 parts, which I'll talk about in the next video. After that, I'll identify 3 major themes in the passage and talk about them in our 3rd video. And in the final video, I'll offer my own reflections about the text and invite you to consider some questions for you to think about on your own.